kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome everyone. Let's get some Coders music going. How's that working? Let me actually drop the music down a second. Check. Just want to make sure my audio is coming out. It looks like it is. Okay. All right, let's pick up where we left off. We were working with the Leap motion controller on Tuesday, and I've got, I think, the Leap WPF app. Is this the one I was working on? I had a couple of these. This looks like absolutely not right. Or wait, is it? Maybe it is right. I think I started working on this. I'm not even sure if this compiles right now. Let me close down some of the other stuff that's out here. Fred's with us. Fred, you good? Fred says he's good. So I created a frame analyzer class. Coding Gorilla, kids. You don't mess with Coding Gorilla. Let me get rid of these name tags too, down across the bottom. Just keep Fred's name tag there. How was my vacation? It was all right. I was dealing with, more, less vacation stuff and more serious issues, but, I think I got them all handled. Every once in a while that happens. You're called upon to do more serious things. And I didn't mess them up too badly, I think, so that's not bad. I've been only thinking about this, but haven't done anything or touched it since Tuesday, so I kind of got to get back into it again. Let's see if it even builds. Let's look at the build. As I recall, this was left, build succeeded. Okay, in a kind of broken state, I was working on an event, but I'm not, oh, wait. Is this me right here? There we go, Leap frame event args. Okay. So what did I do? I created a Leap frame event args. Here it is right here. Leap data 2D. Looks like I was going for grabbing the left palm and the right palm in there. By the way, one of the things I was playing with the kids with the Leap motion detector. Let's bring that up here so we can see that here. Bring up the control panel. Where are you, control panel? Should be up by now. Not up. Although I'm seeing Leap. Where'd you go? Leap, I'm seeing inside of the, let's see what's going to, I see some much progress. Very excited to see what you've done, Garble Knives. Well, not really that much progress. Also, I just realized I don't have the cable for this camera. Where is it? It's over there. It's on another device. I want to get that cable so that you can see the Leap motion detector while I work, because that's going to be way better if we do that. I'm going to give you a be right back here. Where's my be right back? All right. Put my mic on here. Let's see if we can turn on that camera. I might have to switch to a scene that's going to cut off my sound. Give me 1 second. Here, let's see if I can find that camera. Well, didn't find the camera. Hold on. I think I see it right there. Give me a sec. Let's refresh everything, all the data, so we get the words off the screen. And get the music started with Coder's music again. I think it just needed a refresh. No properties available. That's not good. Oh, I think I know where it is. There it is. Give me a sec. There we go, a little bit better. There we go. Okay. All right, so now we got the Brio up, and let's see if we can interact with that. I'm not seeing, I started up the Leap Motion controller, control panel. There it is. Not sure why it didn't show up before. Let's bring up the diagnostic visualizer. All right. Here we go. All right, one of the things that was interesting when I played with this with my kids is we tried throwing 3 hands at it, and no go with 3 hands. It only is really, even though hands is an array or an indexable property, it only does 2. The other thing that was super interesting is if I don't know if I can do this. It's got the switch here pretty good, but when I had a left hand over here and I put another left hand in over here, it was popping the thumb off to the other side frequently. It would be like here, and then it would be like pop, like that, like that. So anyway, that was kind of an interesting exploration. All right, what I'd like to do today is see if I can get this data and actually use WPF to kind of show, like at the very least, where the palm and the fingertips are. That would be cool, including through 3D space. That's kind of the space I want to play in today. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. We'll just have that running in the background. I was putting, by the way, yesterday I was installing a new power supply into my desktop computer because I'm building a second computer, and I decided to get a more powerful power supply because I had to make some compromises when I first built this because it didn't have enough connectors in the back. So I did it, made that changes, got everything set up, and started it up, and no power. And I was like, wait, what? A power supply arrives and it delivers 0 power? And hold on, Garbled Knowledge is saying something here. One thing I notice, hold on 1 second. I want to put this up. Is that perhaps when you move your hand from the frame that it disposes the hand? I say that because when the hand comes back, it initializes with a new color. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I actually, that color thing that's happening, I really, really like it. There's something about that that I really, really like. I don't know if this is going to work now very well because I've got my wrist straps on. It's just not so good with the wrist straps. But yeah, I noticed the same thing, right? It's like, oh, the color change indicates I've lost a hand and now I found a brand new one. It's got a new ID, is what I think. I think the hand property has that in it. So let's see. I was thinking about sending some data over, and I was suggesting left palm and right palm, like that, as points in the 2D. And I don't think, am I using this yet? Not using this yet anywhere. The leap frame event args, I've got the actual whole frame I'm sending over, which contains a lot of data. So I'm kind of okay with that, with just running that, that the way it is. You know what? I want to center, I think, this a little bit. Just moving the camera a little bit over so you can kind of see a little bit more of that on screen. So I was kind of playing in this space but didn't do anything. I'll just comment this out for now. Let's see if the data is actually sent out here. So we call set on frame. So I'm just going to keep the event args alive the whole time because these are happening so frequently. I don't want to create a new leap frame event args instance every time these shoot out. Instead, it's much more efficient to just simply create it once and then have a set method on it and call that instead. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just calling set on it, passing the frame. And it looks like that's all I'm doing. I'm not actually triggering the event. And so we need to trigger that event. Do I even have the event? It looks like I don't. So let's go declare that. And so I think I'll put it in the class for now. So it's a leap frame event handler. And it takes a leap frame event args. Now let's create an event of that type and call it leap motion received. Maybe skeletal motion data received. Skeleton hands moved. Simpler. All right, we'll do that. Hands moved. Okay, and then we need a trigger for it. There's our trigger. We're going to call that. I think we're going to call it from here. And this and this, I'm just going to get rid of. So the purpose of this is to create a DLL where I can put all my leap motion code. And then over here in my WPF app, just create this leap mapper, I guess I'm going to call it. And in my initialization, I'm going to hook that event. It's not there. Where is it? Did I get the wrong class name? It's It's got a listener. I think here we've got to hook the event and then pass it on is what I think we have to do. Hands moved. I'm not too worried about this extra kind of, chaining of methods. I don't think that's going to be a performance issue at all. I'm not worried about that. And then I just want to basically bubble out that event as well. Oops, that's not what I want. Hands moved. This, I think I got to move out. And let's put it here instead. Because I just don't want to reference it by frame analyzer dot this anymore. Let's do this. Let's grab both of these actually. We'll copy both of those. And we're going to put them here in the mapper. And what's my problem here? Oh, got it. Okay. All right. Hands moved. And we need the event args. We need to kind of do the exact same thing with the event args that we did up above or down below in Frame Analyzer. No, we're not. We're just going to pass them straight up, actually. We're not going to do any of that. Okay, so we've got this, and then, so now we're going to just need to hook it. By the way, I'm not really completely excited by Leap Mapper as the name for this class. It's kind of like it builds a controller and a frame analyzer, and it adds a listener to the controller. And maybe I'll call it Leap Motion instead. I like that better. Okay. That reminds me I left Dropbox on. Let's turn that off. Okay, so there's my hands moved. In hands moved, I'm going to call on hands moved, passing in this and the event args, like that. So that's all I'm going to do, right there. So now, where my Leap Motion instance is, okay, now I'm liking the client code here. I create a new instance of it. I say, hey, hands moved, and there we go. And now we're inside our main window for WPF. So for here, I want to drop like a canvas on the form, I think. Like this. And I think I want to throw like an ellipse on here maybe to represent the hand. I'm going to try and see if I can get left and right hand data. Maybe I should just call this hand 1 for now. Let's do that for now. And we'll say the fill is equal to blue. And let's say the width is equal to 100. And height is equal to 100. There we go. Let's duplicate that. Call this hand 2. And let's change this to red. All right. Okay, good. Next, I feel like we can almost run this now and see what we get. Am I at a breakpoint? Ah, I am at a breakpoint. Oh no, did I see this before? An attempt was made to load a program with an incorrect format. Oh yeah, now I think I remember why I stopped on Tuesday. And bad image format exception. Let's see if I can just copy those details there. Change it all over to x65. I think you're guiding me towards my project type. But x64. See if that solves it. That'd be awesome if it was just, oh, it totally solved it. Okay, two things. On monitor 2 that you can't see, the app is up and running. 2, we're here at a breakpoint. Let me go ahead and just disable the breakpoint for a second. I'm going to hit run. I'm going to pop this up here. Okay, back to the breakpoint. I'm getting data, interestingly. Okay, so let's just do this now. Let's say EA, whoops. Yeah, if EA dot frame dot hands dot is empty. Okay, I'll take that. If it's empty, then I want to say hand1 dot visibility equals visibility dot hidden, like that. And I want to do the same thing for hand 2, like that. And then I want to get out. So let's just clear that breakpoint and run. And let's see what we got. Wait, what? Calling thread. Oh yeah. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. Let's I think I'm gonna, where do I want to dispatch or invoke this guy? I think I want to say hide hands in UI thread. Hide in UI thread. Come on. Like that. So I think I want the code to kind of look like this. Hide hands in UI thread. Then here I want to call dispatch invoke, and I want to call hide hands, like that. And then right here, looks like I'm gonna have to restart. I want to put that other code. Okay, that's what I want to do. I might change this to safe hide hands, because we've used that before. And I kind of like it. Safe hide hands. So we've just got a dispatcher invoke around it. Okay, let's run it again. And I'm hoping that when we start it up, we're going to see both of those disappear. Oh, they did. They were up for a second, they disappeared. Let me get one of those hands out. Oops, we don't have any code to do the opposite though. Let's do it. Oh, what's happening? Someone's coming! Salutations, Screech Rat. Screech Rat always comes in with a screech and a rat. And here comes Surly Dev.
Surly Dev is in the house.
How you doing, Surly Dev? It's Surly Dev season. Well, the show was going great. What are you doing? We're walking in. Look at everybody coming in. Jetson, is it fanfare time? By the way, I have a really funny second part 2 to Jetson's fanfare that I haven't had time to build yet, but it's so funny. All right, so here's what I want to do. At this point, I want to say, I think I want to call safe show hands, or wait, let's do something else. I want to create a variable here. Hands are hidden, like this, and the value of the variable is doesn't need to have the UI thread to access it. And so I'm going to come up here like this. We'll set this. I just don't want to like dispatch invoke just to see if the hands are hidden or not. So what I'm going to do is then I'm going to say, hey, if hands are hidden, then I'm going to say safe show hands, like this. And let's implement that. And then we're going to dispatch invoke, and we're going to call it show hands. Like that. No, that's what I wanted. I'm going to declare that. And let's put it right up here. Drop a marker. Oops, selection increase. Copy, escape, paste, and change this to visible. Oops. Nope. And then set this to false. All right, and let's clear the breakpoint and run it. And now let's see what happens if I put my hand out. Wait, I'm not checking. Oh yeah, I am checking right there. Hands are hidden, safe show hands. All right, cool. Is this gonna work? I'm gonna call that working. That's good. Do I crash into Frackberg? Well, you're kind of close, but there's no Frackberg. It's okay. So good. So I've got. It seems to be working. Hand in, hand out, hand in, hand out. All right. So that's not bad. Frackberg looks like one of the ships from the old Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, Frackberg is a Battlestar Galactica fan. That's how he got the ship. Yeah, it's a Viper. Well, you can't say exactly what it is. I've made a few small changes, so in case the lawyers from Battlestar Galactica call, it's not. I can point out those differences and show how it is. You know, I'm also going to be citing, what is it, copyright law that lets, if it's parody, I get to do it a little bit. So, okay, that's good. Next, I want to work on the positioning of it. I'm going to write some code for that, so I'm putting my wrist straps back on. I want to automatically adjust my coordinates that I'm writing this thing on into to essentially be, I want them to, whatever size this is, the canvas is, I'm just realizing I probably need the canvas is not resizing. Is it infinite? I don't remember. Is it WPF canvas infinite? I have no browser to ask this question. Here we go. WPF canvas. I think I have to set the bounds.
I love trash.
I love trash. Look at this guy. He's so cute. He's like, oh, it's inevitable. You should have seen that coming. Quite a few differences here too. Just enough to keep the lawyers at bay, perhaps. Just enough. That's actually my voice trying to do Oscar, by the way. That's me saying I love trash. Pretty sure that's me. What's going on here? This may not be exactly what I want. All right, I feel like I'm gonna find this out anyway. Hands are out, hands in. Yeah, it doesn't quite get it with these. At any rate, I want whatever size this is. I want the maximum distance of known positioning of elements in this space to fit it. So if I put my hand out here and the coordinates in the X direction is like a -1000, then I want -1000 to map to this edge. And if I do it again and I move it even further, like to -2000, I want that -2000 to be on this left edge. So I kind of want to see what the leftmost, topmost, rightmost values are and adjust those and then put everything inside of it is what I want to do. So I think I'm going to set a breakpoint here. And at this point, we can now analyze the hands. I want to see, I think I want to have a method that says analyze. Let's get that spelled correctly. Analyze bounds, motion bounds, like that. I want to pass in the frame. So let's declare that. And now we're going to kind of go through all the elements on here and check each one to make sure that the if any of those are greater than our variables. So I'm going to create a variable up here. Well, let's see what the coordinates are. Are they doubles or are they 0 dot palm position dot, what do we got? They're floats. Okay. So we'll do some floats. So top most point and I think I'm going to set this to max value, and I think I'm going to also have a leftmost point similarly set to that. Then I'm going to have a rightmost point. Looks like I'm going to need to restart. Rightmost point is going to be my min value, And my bottommost point will also be my min value. So I need those. I think I can start up and running, and that's what I needed to change, just because we're going to check through all of these and check to see if any of them are greater than that value. I'll put a breakpoint here. That's a huge space. Well, we're gonna bring it in real fast is what we're gonna do. The first time we get a frame in, we're gonna check everything. I'm just setting the left and the top, which are, you know, we want to see is something less than this, then it's now the new left or the top. That's why I've made these max values. And I've made these min because I want to see is anything greater than that. If so the first time we get a frame, these values will be set. That's the intention behind these. If I make them 0, I can't really guarantee that that's going to happen because everything in the coordinates might all be in negative space. Okay, so we got a breakpoint here, I think because I moved my hands in maybe. Cool, I got a frame ID here. That's kind of neat. So now I want to say, infants alive. Yummy pudding. Tasty pudding. How you doing, pudding? How's it going? It's going okay. Merkin was with us when we, I mean, no, not Merkin. Pudding was with us when we did our show, Dragon Humpers, over the weekend. Or, no, on Wednesday, rather. I thought it was a pretty good show. We're getting better at it. Pudding says, just woke up, so doing great. Live comedy Dungeons & Dragons over there with special effects built on the show. In fact, the thing we're doing here today with the skeletal data is so that I can trace my fingers in space and we can have a particle emitter follow my fingers on the screen, and we can map the 3D space to this 2D space right here, including moving backwards and forwards, all of that. So it gets bigger as I get closer, maybe even out of focus, a little blurrier. I think that one was like Tilt Zephyr. Maybe. One of the cool things we have on the show that we added are the new lightning effects. So if somebody is acting up and being mean to Zephyr, Zephyr can hit a button and oh my gosh, it's really hot. I think that, oh my goodness. That's not what I like. I'm trying to do a show here. Anyway, that's some of the new special effects over there. Special effects. What do you think about that, Fred? Good? Fred says good. Holy loudness, Batman. Too loud? Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'll look into that. I'll make a note on that right now so I don't forget to check that. Lightning effects too loud. All right. Okay, so now I want to analyze the bounds. So we basically have to go into each one of these things here. So we want to say frame.hands. I want to for each on this, for each hand. Then I want to say probably analyze bounds. I'm going to call it analyze bounds. I'm going to pass in the hand dot palm position, which is going to be a vector. And I'm going to pass in we're not going to pass in anything else. Just that. Let's clear it. Position. And now we're going to do this. We're going to say, hey, if position dot, I'm going to look only at X and Y. So position X, I'm just doing a translation straight, flattening it down towards the Z axis rather. That's what my intention is. So if position X is less than leftmost point, I'm going to say leftmost point is equal to position X. Like that. I'm going to duplicate that and I'm going to say position Y is less than, we're going to topmost point here. All right. Duplicate that and I'm going to say if position X is greater than rightmost point. Like that. And then duplicate, whoops, not there. Duplicate, I got to select it. I was in the wrong spot. And then I'm going to say if position Y is greater than my bottommost point, then bottommost point is equal to position Y. That's my analyzed bounds. So I've gone through the hands there and I've done that, but I think I should also do the same thing for the fingers. And I want to say, what do we got? Fingers. Sweet. Fingers. Whoops. I want to F4 each. Finger. Cool. I want to say analyze bounds. Finger dot what? What do I have in finger? Got an is finger in finger. That's interesting. One of the things that's really interesting is this idea of tools in the API. I think it's for holding objects in your hand. Is tool. Tip position, that's what I want. Codebase Alpha's here. Thanks, Codebase Alpha, for showing up. How you doing, buddy? Are you good? So I'm just going to call that. And if we run it for a while, well, I don't know. Let's just run it once and see what we get for these guys. There we go. Okay, cool. So we know our topmost position is 192. So now we have a sense of where everything is. Okay. So now what that means is we can go in and do something similar now that we've analyzed it and move those move those, I'm going to call this safe show hands. Wait, do I already have that? No, I want to say safe move hands. And I want to pass in the frame. EA.frame. Like that. The code's going to look like this. I'm just kind of moving this along with me here. So safe move hands is there. We're going to dispatch invoke, and then we're going to call move hands, passing the frame. There it is, passing in the frame. Let's declare that. Good, and now we've got code like this. So busy, says Codebase Alpha. Screenshot says thumb gets treated like a finger, if I recall. Yes, it does. I guess we have these things called phalanges in here, and the thumb has one fewer. But in their data, they added one extra for the thumb, but made it 0 length, so that you could iterate through all fingers equally in the code if you wanted to do that. I thought, okay, that's cool. I like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to put the palm in the right spot. We're not going to do anything with fingers yet. Just get the palm showing up so it's in about the right spot. So what I want to do now is I want to say, I need to translate from their space to our space. Is what I need to do. So I'm going to call get canvas position of hand.palm position, and I'm going to say out maybe a point, and this is going to be looks like I can't find that point. What? Maybe because I need to give the second variable name. Like here, P, now I found it. Okay, great. That's all I needed. All right. So we're going to say out that position. Let's do this now. Let's declare this. And this is just going to be a position coming in and a point that we're getting. And now what we need to do is we need to see, we essentially need to get the percentage across is what we need to do. So we're going to say percentage x, and that's equal to position dot x minus leftmost point maybe I should have called this point leftmost x. Let's change all of these. Oh, I can't. I'm running, so I'm going to just stop it for a second because I really want to rename these. Rightmost x, bottommost y. I just don't like the ambiguity with point and something's just a float value. Okay, so percentage x is equal to the position in space x minus the leftmost x. So that's kind of the delta divided by the distance across, which is rightmost x minus leftmost x. That's my percentage x. And my percentage y is equal to position y minus topmost y. Look at that. Thanks, CodeRush, for getting me that. Divided by bottommost y minus topmost y. And that's assuming that our coordinates get greater as they go down. We might have to flip that. I suppose I could also do a math.abs in here too to ensure that that's going to work. Right there. So now I've got my percentage x and y. Then now I need to get my distance across in my canvas. So it's called my canvas.width is going to be my distance across. So my x position, let's do this, NF for a new, what? Okay, all right. So we'll say new x is equal to percentage x times my canvas, whoops, times my canvas dot maybe actual width, like that. I probably need to typecast that to float. There we go. Okay, there's my new x, there's my new y. This is going to be my percentage y times my canvas.actual height. I have a feeling these might be 0 for the canvas. We need to check those. We could also defend against it by just having an event handler for whenever the window is resized, and whenever it's resized, we set the canvas height and width to the client height and width of the WPF app. At any rate, at this point now, we're going to say point. I think I'd rather have this return it. So we'll say return new point of new x and new y. Like that. I think that's right. So now we're going to say point position is equal to that. And now that we have that position, we're going to come in and say, I guess, hand 1. Well, all right, I think we need an array of hands is what we need, an array of ellipses rather. Maybe that, and then what I want to do I think that's what I want to do. Can I do this here where I can specifically say the values of each one? Hand 1, hand 2. That's what I'm looking for. What's wrong with this syntactically? Oh, sorry. There. Yeah, I probably can't do it, can I? Can I do that? What is it? That? I think that's it. No? Field initializer. All right, fine. I'm going to do this. I'll copy that for now. I'm going to take that there. I'm going to put it up in my initialize component. Thanks over there, Coding Gorilla, for helping me out. There it is right there. Okay, so we've got those two pieces in hands right there. And I think I want to turn this over to a for loop. And now what I want to do, let's initialize this. Create a variable for that, introduce a local for that. Okay, and then I want to say, hey, if I is less than hands.length, then we're going to say canvas.setLeft. UI element is going to be hands of I. And the left position is going to be position.left. .x rather. Hey little kitty. Look out! The world is a dangerous, crazy place. Oh my goodness. You have to be careful. There's all kinds of things that'll hit you, little kitty. You never know when something might be sneaking up on you. Oh, yeah, like that. Is Rory lurking? I don't see Rory out there. Wait. Where's Rory? I don't think Rory's out there. Anyway, how you doing, Pyrocat? If Rory's out there, he's lurking really well. Oh, I just like to creep him out if he is, Pyrocat. Good job, Pyrocat. That's how we treat Rory on this show. Okay, so let's see. We've got our set left, set top. That looks good. Thanks, CodeRush, for writing that line of code for me. And I'm not going to do anything with the fingers yet. So let's run it and see what happens. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Okay, let's see. Let me drag it up. Taking off my wrist strap, so I have better skeletal recognition data coming in. Okay, so we're here in the breakpoint, and we're in analyze bounds. So I'm going to clear this breakpoint and just run it. Oh my gosh, will you look at that? What happens? I lost it. Oh no, it's back again. Now let me put the other hand in. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's not bad. There's something going on. Yeah, sometimes it's like it loses it. It's like I'm losing the red one. Seems like I'll lose that sometimes. That's pretty cool. Okay, the other thing that's interesting Oh, my Z has been mapped, or my Y has been mapped. Oh, I get it. Okay, hold on. I've totally transposed these a little bit. As I raise it up, it goes down. So that kind of is, it's the code I wrote, but I really, I want to think about this in terms of, do I want to think about this? Maybe flip that. What are those circles? The circles are representing my hands, is what's happening here. So as I kind of, if I put just one out here, there it is right there. You see, as I move to the left, it moves left. As I move back, it doesn't really do anything in the Z at all. So the Z is not really done, but the up, if I move up, it goes down. If I go down, it goes up. So I've kind of reversed those directions there. And is it really going to be fixed by just removing that math.abs? Oops, I need parens around that. Trigger process exited. Okay. Didn't like edit and continue on that. All right. I'll run it again. Pudding says, you know, Mark, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but your hands look really round. Yeah, they did. All right, what's going on now? What's going on? Okay, here we go. I got some data, and now I move. Nope, it's still going the wrong way. All right, we'll just have to do that flat out switch there. Okay, I suppose I should have been smart enough to figure that out. So we're going to just throw a negative up here to reverse it. And I think I'm going to throw that math.abs back in. And let's clear that. We're going to get a break. Yeah, it does not like edit and continue, at least not here. Can we start again? Okay. And what do we got? Doesn't look as good. It's coming off screen. Is it my, or is it my bottom most? Do I just have to switch the signs to that too? Is it still going to have the same problem? Yeah, it's still the same problem. Okay, hold on. Let's go look at bottom most and top most and how these are being calculated. I think I got to flip the signs here. If I'm flipping the signs for bottom most and top most, then I need to flip these min and max values as well. Is that enough? And I'm wondering if I'm going to get rid of that minus sign now. Let's see what happens with this. Let's bring it up. Looks like I've still got the same problem. Nothing is on screen yet. There we go. You just start to see it as I go up. As I go up, it's still going down. So, but I think we're close to this. Try again. Up, down, up, down. There you go. Look at that. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Hey, you want to see something cool? Look at this. Yeah, I'm on my show. You want to do it? Go ahead and do it. Put your hand right over there. She's the dancer in the family. I'm not. I'm not the dancer. Even though I have the Mark Lewis School of Dancing. Got to be kind of over this right here. Get your hands over there. There you go. See? Cool?
Wow, that's so cool.
You lift your hands up, they go up. See that? So you can kind of do one up and one down. Like that.
How do we know I'm going to end?
I think you might be too close and going too outside of it. Whoa, careful. question to show young lady. What? Out of the garden, huh? Oh, good news, kids. Mom got peppers out of the garden, baby peppers. So that's kind of cool. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. I am liking that. Now I want to do the Z. I want to make them get bigger as I move out in the Z direction. Here's what I want to do. And I think I can just do it right here. I don't know if editing continue is going to be nice to me here or not. Let's see if we can do it. We'll try this. Because we're in the UI thread now. And if editing continue works here, but it didn't work there in the other place, that may be a sign that we can work safely in the UI thread. Okay, so I want to say something like the scale is equal to, I don't know his position Z, it's going to be hand dot palm position dot Z well, I don't know what the negative and the positive are in the Z direction. So I feel like I should also be calculating those as well. Let me just close down the app. And so we're going to say our forward most Z is equal to, assume that's a max value, and our backmost Z is equal to a min value. And then we're going to track these as well. Position.z is less than that. Then we got that, and then if position.z is greater than backmost z is equal to position.z. Now we have backmost z and forwardmost z. And so I think it's going to be palm position.z divided by the distance between these two. Backmost z minus forwardmost z. And it's going to be math.abs call. And then I'm going to say hands of I dot width is equal to, let's make it 100 times the scale, like that. And let's change this to height and also make it 100 times the scale. All right, let's try that. See what we get. Okay. As I get closer, I want to reverse this out. I want it actually to get bigger on the way in. So I'm going to kind of flip this a bit. Why am I not getting the breakpoint though? I'm wondering about that. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to flip this. I think I need... the inverse of that. And I think I want to say at least let's give it to plus, I don't want to say plus 40. And let's try that. Cool. So as I move it closer to my screen, it gets bigger. As I move it back away, it gets smaller. So move it up. There we go. That is super cool. The other thing that's kind of cool about this is I could actually juggle something, right? I didn't think about this till just now, but I could have an effect that's kind of like floating in my hand, right? To some degree, you see it right there, right? And if I do this, right, if I throw it up like that, it could have a velocity and it could let, you know, instead of floating, it could go and then maybe land in the other hand, right? That sort of thing. So kind of cool, right? Let's bring my hands in. It's what's going on here though? Okay, as I come back, they don't follow over my hands anymore, right? As I get them, as I bring my hands in forward, they're kind of almost there over my hands, right? We reach a point where we're like, okay, right about there, we've got kind of a one-to-one almost, right? Between the mapping of the virtual 3D world and the 2D world. As I keep the hands about the same distance apart and bring them back though, watch what happens. Right? So we need to kind of adjust for that is what we need to do. We need to figure out that because we're further back, that's cool. I was just thinking about a different way of approaching the problem. Like I have enough here that with a few magic number adjustments, I can get this to follow my hand, including when I come back. So notice when I come back, right, what happens, it kind of the distance from my hand seems to fall away as well, perspective-wise. Where's the other hand? Why aren't you getting me? There you go. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you could do something where you like, if I do this, it like goes up. Right, you could actually make it so you're juggling three-dimensional effects, right? Where you do this with your hand and it's essentially letting go of it. Kind of interesting. Let's talk about the mapping because I've been like dreaming about this for days. How do we get from 2D space into 3D space? Just realized my volume levels are a little low. I always forget to check those after a show. I'm going to bring them up a little bit. So if you guys had your volume kind of up loud, you can drop that back down now because I think it's, hopefully that's good. Give me feedback if that's not good. Yeah, let's talk about mapping, how we're going to do this. So, mapping 3D onto 2D, the 2D with live video. And I kind of want to draw this in pictures. Yeah, this is kind of interesting because I've been visualizing these pictures in my head for a while. Bear with me just a second because I want to change the why isn't it showing me this as I spin it? This is kind of weird. All right.
You in your show?
I am.
Oh.
All right. So with that, I'm envisioning something like this. Where, let me make the back one a little smaller. Yeah, that's not bad. So I'm envisioning that there's a collaboration mode where I touch these 8 points right here in space. So it basically says, here's So the 4 in the back, the 4 in the front, and or I haven't really thought this through, because as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, oh, maybe not. So those 4 there, and then these 4 up here. Let's make all of these smaller. And these 4 up front. And I've thought of several variations of this as well, where instead of, but basically it says, look, here's where these things are, right? And let's just write this idea down. So idea 1, calibrate the 8 points that bind, or that bound the cube. It's not really a cube. It's unlikely to be a cube, but basically I'm trying to find the edges of where I can touch that's still going to be on screen. So back here, this one might be really high if it can see it. And like up here, it might be much lower. The Y position might be much lower, right? But it's in the camera frame. So I'm basically saying, look, here's point A, here's point B, right? That sort of thing. Finding these different points as I go around. And then also having a UI that kind of says where those points are on the 2D space. So if I put my finger here, I've got another UI that I can then move like a circle around so it's over that finger in that far back position. So I kind of go to this position, I go down here, find it here, I do the same over here, right, as far as it'll go on camera, right? So I'm looking at both the limits of the camera, forward-facing camera, as well as the limits of the leap motion sensory equipment where it can see it. But then once I get to that extreme, right, then I mark it. So I think I want a UI that basically tells me which one of these I'm looking at. Let me duplicate this a second. And I'm imagining a UI that might look like this. It might have this right here, where it says, hey, you know, find this back left component. And so I move my finger there. I move a circular UI element so it's over my finger. And once that's there, I hit another button that says, I've found the back upper left position. And then it says, okay, now do the next, right? Do this one now. And then so I go back here, far back as I can get, upper left. Then I move it over and say, here you go. And what it's doing when I do this is it is, as I calibrate, it is recording both the XYZ, called the XYZ vector, and the 2D position on screen. Okay? And so I get all of those. And what's really going to happen is I'm not going to get a cube. I'm going to get something that looks way different from a cube. But it'll be a three-dimensional shape bound by these 8 points. The shape will be something more like, can I drag down this? Right-click, edit points. Like this, and like that maybe, and maybe something like this, and then another one on top of that. It's faster to get to it here. More fill colors. Let's do that. All right. And then this might be something like this. And then that's our shape. And so we've got, like, for example, lines from here to here, and line from here to here, a line from here to here. Do I really have to click it each time, even if I double click it? A line from here to here, and a line from here to here. Whoops. Okay, so we have a shape like that. And now we have to see where in 3D space, when something goes, how is that going to map to the 2D position on the screen? So there's some math involved in this, right? And there's some interpolation that's involved. So I was thinking, okay, how do I solve that, right? I do think that idea one, calibrate the 8 points that bound the cube, is like the proper way to solve the problem. I do. There's an alternative way that I considered doing it as well.
Genescu 7, where are you? We need your help. Oh, yeah, alright. Here, too, I am.
Normally you need 2 images to calibrate a 3D object. Genescu 7, where are you? Yeah, I was thinking also about one that cuts this down. This is like what? This is 8 points. And I was thinking about one that cuts it down to 6 points. Hey, hey, hey. I was thinking about one that calibrates into 6 points, which is basically, I'm not sure if I can really draw this quickly. But, kind of doing my 3D shape right here. Like that. We're just doing party after party here, kids. I didn't know we could do 2 back to back like that. Oh, because they have different names. That's why. Yeah, you can do that. So, I don't know, something like that a bit. I was thinking where this is coming out here like this, and then we have another one coming out to the side. I wish I had like a 3D shape. I don't have any 3D. I bet I can find something online that'll just solve this. Probably won't have to draw it. Uh, 3D plus. That's what I'm looking for. This kind of a shape here. So basically where I was surprised I'm not getting more of these like I'm expecting it. But that's what I'm looking for. Something like this. So it says, what's the furthest most Z and the backmost Z? What's the topmost Y and the bottommost Y? What's the leftmost X and the rightmost X? And I just get those. And I use those as my calibration points. It's a little bit simpler, right, than trying to calibrate a map from an irregular shape like this into 2D. The math here was like a little bit mind-blowing to me as I was kind of trying to work it through in my head. I did feel like I could simplify it a bit. And I'm trying to recall. Yeah. So here's how the idea for, yeah. So this is, I think that I'm going to actually take this approach. I think this is a little more complex, but I'm going to take this approach. So let me duplicate this slide. The question is, how do we get, we kind of want to simplify the problem, right? So to simplify the problem, my suggestion is that we get a slice somewhere along this z-axis right here, wherever that is. We get that. So we're going to say right here, step 1, get a slice on the z-axis. So that's step 1. We're going to get a slice, a 2-dimensional slice of this thing. And when we get that slice is going to, it's going to maybe look something like this. It might be a little bit different because whatever, we're moving, from one to another, right? So it might look a little bit different, like something like this, okay? So we get a slice on the z-axis. That's step 1. And we can get that slice by getting the equations for these lines from this point to that point and this point to that point, and just grab the z and it'll tell us the actual coordinates. So we can get these coordinates pretty easily. 1, 2, 3, 4 around there. And we know where they are in the z position. Once we get that, the whole thing we're trying to do here, by the way, let's call this our origin point right in the back left. That's going to be our origin point back here. Hold on, let me do something like this to be the indicator for it. Okay, so we're going to call that our origin point back here. That point is our origin point. Let me move this arrow so it's not blocking that view of the origin point. So we're just going to go do that there. It's going to represent our z slice point right here. Let's put that word out there somewhere. This is our z axis slice point. I guess point, is that right? Slice position. Like that. And that's going to be a line between these 2 points. Right there. There it is right there. So there's our z-axis slice position. I'm going to change this line color. Like that. Let's go and change these colors as well. Okay, so there's our z-axis. This is our origin back here. Let's mark that. And so once we get this, what we're trying to get, what we want is x, y, and z coordinates, but not coordinates, percentages. That's what I want. Percentages in 3D space. Space as bounded by the bounding box we created. The percentage of the bounding box, right, from the origin. So we're going to have an x. So in other words, if I want to have this point right here, that's going to be x at 100%, or x at 1, and y and z are going to be at 0. And if I want this point over here, that's going to be x at 100%, or I'm sorry, that's not x, this is z. So it's going to be z at 100%. And over here, I feel like I have to back up to correct what I said that was incorrect before. So if I want this point, it's going to be z at 100%. If I want this point, it's and x and y are both going to be at 0%. If I want this point, it's going to be z at 0%. Right there. 1 second here. Let me reply to someone. Okay, and so that's kind of what we're looking at. I'm looking at a percentages to kind of get me across here is what I'm trying to do. So that's step 1 is to get a slice. Step 2, somewhere in here we've got a point. And so, like, say for example, the point is here in space. We have some sort of point here, right? Then we want to get this. So z is coming out towards us like this. X is coming across. So this would be like, for example, x is equal to 0.7, like 70%. And it might be y is equal to, we might say y is equal to something like 5.5, right? 55%. Oh no, 45. 45 down from the 45 down, and this is 70% across, right to there. And so we'll get that. Then what we want to do, once we have those percentages, then we want to get out to, let's get to a new page. Yeah, it's tricky. Then we need to do the, well, let's call this right here. We're going to call this one calculating percentages of the bounding box. Now, one thing that we should point out here, there's kind of a gotcha in this, that I believe this gotcha exists. What if this shape was like this, right? Let's do this, right? So, oh, maybe it's not a gotcha. These right here are from the origin. These percentages, percentages are from the origin. Maybe we're not in a problem space. I was thinking, what happens if we've got something that just doesn't quite match, what was over here? What happens if my position is to the left of the origin? It's going to be a negative number here. I think that's going to be okay. It's complicated. What if my slice is wildly different? From the origin slice. The origin Z slice. And I think the answer is that percentages are going to be from that origin. So if we were to stack these up one behind each other, like that, I think we're still okay. We say allow negative percentages. Okay. This kind of goes here. That goes there. And then the final stage is like mapping to 2D. So we have our percentages. We have our 2D coordinates for the bounding, well, certainly for the origin and the endpoints. And I think what we do is we basically consider this as we have two trapezoids here. We have a back trapezoid and a front trapezoid in 2D space. And let's just make sure that I'm using the right word here. Yeah, four-sided shape. Oh, no, it's not. It's a quadrilateral is the word I want to use. And then what I do, so the strategy here find the position in the back quad, find the position in the front quad. Everything okay? Good. Pudding said hi to you a while back. Find the position in the front quad, find it in the back quad, and then interpolate between these two. Your head is spinning, coding gorilla. Great. Yeah, yours is. Mine is spinning. I got to get all this right in my head to make this work. Interpolate between these two based on the Z percentage. So if Z percentage is 0, then we just use the exact point of the back quad. If Z is 100, then we use the point on the front. And if it's between the two, we essentially, it's kind of like averaging, but we multiply each, instead of multiplying the number by 1 and adding them together and then dividing by 2, which is essentially taking 50% of each number and adding it together, we're gonna multiply one of these two by the Z percentage and multiply the other one by 1 minus the Z percentage, and then add them together, and that's going to be our position. So that part is clear in my head. That I think is all going to work. The piece that I haven't quite figured out yet is find the position on the quad. We need to find that out. So new slide here so we can think through that. Whoops, I didn't want to do it a section. Can't seem to undo it. Oh, wait. Drag any section header onto the slide for ready-made link to that section. Got it. Cool. Let me undo that. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to say new slide. Finding the position on the quad. And here's where I think we might cheat just a little bit. Let's go grab a quad here. Yeah. I'm thinking we're going to cheat. And and the cheating actually makes the calibration easier as well. Here's the suggested cheat. The cheat. We do the back left and the forward right. And we create a cube. So it's going to be a cube. That's what we're going to do. We still allow negative percentages so you can fall outside the cube, but that's going to be what we're going to use because it's so much easier to do this if it's a flat out cube in two-dimensional space. That's kind of what it is. Yeah, Pudding says, I'm confused. Is the camera ever going to move? No, says Pudding. But the problem is, here's the thing. The camera, okay, there's one, by the way, hold on. There's another way out of this that's way less confusing. There's another way. And we just find the magic numbers in our WPF app and save them. Maybe allow for a little bit of tweaking, right? But that's another way to solve this problem without all of this math, right? And what I mean by that is if we look at the app, is it running now? It looks like it's running. If I take off can I see any input? Are we at a break point? No. Let's restart. That's a little worrisome. It's interesting. I did see it continue over on it. Maybe I was at a break point. But can I do that? All right. So I was going to say, so we just kind of fudge it. Right? We fudge it till it looks right? If I put this full screen and I say, well, my hand is down in the bottom right, we figure out what numbers we need to add to the blue dot to get it right above my hand. Right? That's what we end up doing. And we just kind of do it. But I kind of don't want to do the fudging on it. I do like the effectiveness of this though. When I bring my hand in and it gets bigger versus smaller, that I like. That I think we can fudge pretty easily. We can kind of fake that. The camera is unlikely to ever move, but if it ever moves, we want to make some changes. Realize the camera is not orthogonal, to at least to me, right? With regards to the z-axis. It's not shooting straight off. It's actually kind of coming down from above a little bit. So that can also affect the motion because we want to really get the pieces in sync with the fingertip is what we want to do. All right. So you need to calibrate the camera. That's what we need to do. Yeah, you know what? I apologize, guys. I get distressed when I feel like I'm losing you because I'm like, oh man, that's not a good responsible thing to do. So definitely keep asking me questions here. So I think this approach is a good approach. The advantage to the cheat here is that it gives us well, not really necessarily a cube, but certainly a rectangular prism. And we don't have to worry about, because I was thinking already, we're still going to need to do the z-slice here and figure out its percentage among its, forward and back positioning. And then now, let's see, finding the position on the quad should be way more straightforward if we do this cheat. Because now we've got... Let me just get that, cut it, paste it. Yeah, now it's much more straightforward. We just have our percentages. We know that because we have the 2D coordinates for the origin and the endpoints. Oh, hold on now. We we can't do it with 2 points. We'd need at least 4. Hold on. So the cheat is going to be this one and this one and this one and this one. those are the 4 points we need. We absolutely need that, because now what we're going to do, finding a position on the quad, well, easy to do. We have in our 2D space, let me change the color of this to represent 2D here, that this is on our 2D. Okay, so that means 2D. Okay, in our 2D space, we know these 2 points. We know this point right here. It's going to be P1. And I guess I'll call this P2 down over here. We know these 2 points. Because we know these points, we know the distance across, right? And we know this origin point, our corresponding origin point in 2D space. So then we just take our percentages and we just add, we multiply percentages by the distance, by the deltas, and add them to P1, and we're going to get our 2D point. This is it, and this might be our back quad. We might have another one called our front quad, and then we just do the interpolation part I was talking about here. That's what we're going to do. All right, so now that okay, so this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get these 1, 2, 3, 4 points in space. So I'm going to point here, I'm going to line it up, the UI, and I'm going to point down here, line up the UI. Then I'm going to come up close to the camera and point it, and come up here as well, similarly, right up as close to where I can see my finger in the shot, and I'm going to mark that. And that's what we're going to do. And then essentially what we're doing when we're doing that interpolation between these two points here, we're essentially taking a line in 3-dimensional space and finding out where is that. For example, if this is our back and this is our front quad, so we're going to call this one our front quad. Let me get the contrast of that up. So that's our front quad. And that's our back quad. Like this. And so if we find the point using the percentages, right? Here we might find a point that's like up there, and over on the front quad, we might find a point that's over here, like maybe a little bit different, right? But all we do is we just interpolate between these 2 points using the Z percentage. And that's how we're going to do it. It's going to be genius. It's going to work, I think. That's what I think is going to happen. So it'll be somewhere between this line and that line, right? So we're just kind of stretching out between these 2 points, something along those lines. We'll find it, and then that'll be our actual point that we use. And I think that'll be a fair approximation and a fair strategy of mapping from 3-dimensional space to 2-dimensional space based on the camera position. And it'll be, because we'll have this phase where we can calibrate it.
Good design.
Coding Gorilla, maybe you're on board with it, Coding Gorilla. Okay. Because we have the ability to calibrate if the camera position moves, or if this device, the Leap Motion Controller, moves, we should be able to just recalibrate it for the show and go. So we need a UI that helps us calibrate. And I think I'm going to do this as simply as I can, is what I think I'm going to do. And the way I'm going to do it as simply as I can is I'm going to just create some images here based on what we've got right here, to basically tell you which point to point to. And we're going to show those images on the screen somewhere nearby, like over here. We'll show these pictures, and then I'll point, and then I'll have a UI to move something. The piece that I'll move, I think it's going to look like a donut a little bit, is what I think it's going to look like. Something like that. So I'll be able to kind of circle it like that. Let's do that. Whoops. 1, 2, center, cut. There we go. There's my cut. All right, let's bring up We're selection pane, get rid of this, and let's hide that, hide that, hide that. Calibration. And do I want, I'm going to move this over to an image editor, I think is what I'm going to do. All right. Okay. All right, good. There's 1, 2, let's get the arrow. Let's get the other arrow. Okay, and then, yeah, we'll figure out that UI. That UI is going to be something different. Put it in its own piece. All right, come back over here. Let's increase the size of this for now. And I'm going to create that UI for the different positions that basically are going to reveal which one you want to touch or calibrate to. All right. I think I want some instructions. Back, upper left. Let's get a new layer here. I'm not so much into the this font for the instructions. Let's do like Sego UI. Let's also put the instructions close to that point that we're selecting. Like that. Good. Let's crop it. I want to add a border to this. 359 plus 2 is 361 and 369. Want to show which is on above and below. I don't think I understand the question. I just want to do that, and then I want to fill with kind of a medium gray color around the edge, just so that it's, nope, maybe here. There it is, right there. Okay, good. So we got a border on it. No clear way because of the transparency to see if the blue is above, is below or above. Well, I'm thinking that what happens is this goes to this when we work on this one, and that goes to there. I think it's going to be, it's not too big of a deal because I'm going to know it only has to work for me. And I'm using the word back in there. I say back upper left, and it's a little bit smaller than the other one. So that's kind of what I want to do with it. I agree that it's not maybe brilliant, but whoops. Okay, assets. There we go. So here, what are we going to call this? But it is brilliant. Okay. We'll see if it works, right? This is one of those things too, right? If you don't do this really carefully, you can get a bug that's really hard to see and find, right? And maybe even an edge case bug where in certain conditions, it's just like shoots out into outer space. And I really want to be as careful as I can when I'm writing this code because those bugs are just going to take a long time to find and fix. All right, so this, what are we calling this? This is our leap motion. Maybe just I'm going to call this leap motion. Here's my folder. Inside the folder, we're going to create something called like calibration UI. And so this is going to be, I think I'll call it calibration UI 1, no 0. Start at 0 on these. So that's 0, goes the back upper left. Okay. Then copy that, paste that here. Let's duplicate this, turn this one off, and then this is going to be back lower right. I don't think I have it. No, it doesn't feel right to me. It's not getting the right one. Whoa, it's a raster? How did it get to be a raster image? Somehow, let me undo to the point that it stops becoming a raster, then I'll copy to the clipboard and come back. There we go. That's when it did it. Okay, that's not bad. I'll just take that. All right, so there, let's duplicate this. Turn that one off. Back, lower, right. You know what I'm going to do, I think, on this? I'm going to drop this down even more. Like that. I like that way better. I also like spelling correctly. Also helpful. Okay, back lower right. Let's duplicate this. Looks like I lost my border when I undid. Okay, there's the border back. Back lower right. You know what? I want to change this a little bit. I am thinking about what you're saying on that garbled knowledge. I want to play with this a second. I want to do this. And then I want to do this. I know some of you might be like, wait, Mark, this is just for your UI only. Is that going to work? It's not bad. I like this better. All right, so there's my back lower right there. I think I also want to highlight this one in some way too. Better. Okay. All right, so there's my back lower right there. Let's put it in the same folder. Can I get out of here faster? There we go. Lead motion, calibration UI. Call this calibration UI. I know. I think a lot of times. Oops, I kind of spelled that wrong, didn't I? Calibration. I think a lot of times, sometimes on the show, you guys see me spend a lot of time getting something right for something that might be used infrequently. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, I can't really stop myself from doing that, and it's I think also a good demonstration of, you know, how you would do it if it was an important piece, right? That you wanted to show and you wanted to communicate that effectively. All right, so back lower right is there. Let's go figure out my upper left position right there. Get that one resaved out. No, oh, it's not that one. It's this one right there. And let me duplicate that. Pop it up here. Put it up around that guy. And let's go back down to this one. Turn that one off. And then let's go do this. Duplicate, bring this up to here, bring it full on, 100%. Save that. So this is calibration UI 0. And this one should be UI 1. And then I want to save this out as, okay, good. I've got it already. All right. Okay, back upper left. Then we need the front upper left. So to do the fronts, come in here. like that. Thought I had a red arrow in here. I don't see the red arrow. Maybe I undid past it. So there's my front upper left. Good. Save it. Excuse me. And let's get the last one here, which is going to be down here. Front, bottom, right. Like that. And I need more space. Because I really want to put this down here. I'm not sure how I'm going to solve that just yet. I could word wrap it. When all this fails, use X. I've spent many an hour trying to get that perfect variable name. Yeah. Garbled Knowledge says, I'm a perfectionist myself. We'll see. You know, the risk in all of this, right? There's a risk in the back of my head as I'm doing all of this. And the risk is that I hit some sort of bug along the way that just stops the whole thing from moving forward. You know, and I'm doing all of this work now for something that we'd never ever use. So that's like the risk. I feel like I've seen enough that my confidence is relatively high. We're going to make this work. But you know, we'll see. All right. So front, bottom, right, there's I think the last one. Those are the 4 pieces. So calibration UI, and this is going to be 3. And I'm feeling pretty good about that. So there's our UI. We need to get the selection piece, which is in here. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do on this. I want it to be high contrast. Maybe I'll just do something like this. Let's do something like this. Let's duplicate this, create another one. Let's give it a high contrast outer ring. Like make it black. Make it a little bit bigger. Center it. Center that one. I want to bring the other one up above. Like that. And I think what I might want to do too, I might bump this up. And yeah, I like that way better. All right. So that is my new selector piece right there. So I've got a high contrast piece with borders on both the front and the back. On the outside and the inside, I've got these high contrast borders here. So whatever that's over, we'll see it. How big is it for real? That's about how big it is. That's 100%. And I think I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to take it to 50%. That's feeling better because it's kind of rough what we're doing anyway, right? It's like kind of, should I go even smaller? Yeah, I'm going to go a little smaller. Let's undo this from here. Let's go from here and we'll go to like, say, 30%. All right, that's good enough. All right, so that's going to be my cursor. Okay, so I've got a cursor. I've got calibration instructions. Next, I need a way to move the cursor and then mark that location. Since it's going to be on my machine, at first I was thinking I'd do it on the Stream Deck, but now since it's on my machine, I'm just going to use the mouse. So I'm going to move this guy with the mouse. I'll create an area probably on this app right here for selecting that position. Like I'll probably create a tab on it. And then I'll move my mouse to the right position. So I'll move my mouse over it, right over my finger, and I'll say, okay, it's right here. And then I'll click my mouse. That's what I think I'll do. All right, so let's create that. Let's go into the D&D app, and let's create that new tab. Actually, maybe not there. I'm going to throw it out at the end by test. There we go. This is going to be leap motion calibration. Header is going to be leap. I think the problem is here, but it's not showing errors there. Just because I've got named controls. There we go, that was it. Okay. Guess we'll put in a button in here called calibrate. Okay. Double click it to create an event handler for it. I think I'm going to need some instructions, like a text box for instructions in here. Let's get it horizontally aligned over here to the left. Okay, do this next. Font size is equal to 30. Calibrate. So that will be our steps. We'll do it. We need some status. So let's put maybe a list box down below here. Maybe throw one more text box right above it that just says status, like that. Set its upper margin to about 20. Why am I not seeing the word status here? Where are you? It's weird. I got invalid markup. Okay. Okay. Is that a problem? Nope, it's that one. I'm going to just get rid of this name. I don't need it to be a named component. All right, there we go. There's status. Okay, so do this next. Calibrate, then we're going to show these pieces. Do this next. Status. Okay. Let's set visibility to false on this. Set visibility to hidden on calibration status and on the list box as well. Do I want this to be just a big wrapping text box instead of a list box? I don't know. We'll do the list box for now. Okay, so when we calibrate, we're going to need to send some messages across. Let's look at the signal R messages that we need to do. We need a yeah, we only need to move the UI. We do not need to send really any data down to the low level overlay. The TypeScript overlay does not need to know anything about the mapping. We can do all of the mapping in the C# level, and then just simply send the coordinates down low in terms of where something is, right? Where the fingers are in two-dimensional space, right? We can send it data later. And And we don't even actually need to send it at all. We can just simply, based on what's happening here at the higher level, we can say, oh, okay, now here's the hand data in C#, and then that's going to correspond to some effect that we're going to send down. So the only thing we need to worry about is we need to send, we need a kind of an instruction step, which is going to show the UI that we built in here. It's going to show one of these pages right here. So it's going to be like something like show calibration instruction. There's going to be another piece that's going to be set calibration point. No, move calibration point. And do I need to show the others in space? I don't think I do. In other words, once I've set a point, do I need to kind of keep something floating there to show you that, oh, we've set this point? So this is going to take an XY. And this is going to be an index. So I like to put all my SignalR messages in kind of like one command related to that piece we're going to do. So this is going to be called the calibration, I guess, command. Calibrate leap positions, like that. And it's going to have the as data the calibration instruction index, and then the mouse X and the mouse Y. And that's it. All right, let's add that SignalR. Let's go to the Hubtastic base station. Sergio Mastro 1 is now following. Thanks for that follow, Sergio. So I'm just using map data change, going out, seeing where I'm using it here. And it's just like this, map data change. So we'll do this something similar here. We're going to call this calibrate leap motion. Send it the calibration data. Like that. Let's go over to the overlays. All right. This calibration is going to be in the front layer. Oops. All right, there's the connection right there. So I think that's the pieces we need to get this down here. And then because this is an instance of the, I'm going to put this in the front game, I want to do something like this. If the active front game is an instance of it, meaning we've got a reference to something that exists out there, then we're going to send it the data. Now what's the data we're going to send down? Well, we need to figure that out. So our data, calibration data, this is what we're going to serialize when we send it down. This is going to contain a X, Y, and an index. This is going to be our discoverability index, I guess. Right there. And that's what we're going to send. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Okay, now we need to send it out over to it. All right, so we click the button. I want to say my leap calibration step is now equal to, we're going to get the back upper left. So we'll do that one first. Then I want to say, I want to create my new leap calibration data. I want this to be a field. Then I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to say leap calibration dot set. I want this to be a set discoverability index. Maybe I'll just I want to do that, I think, is what I want to do. Wait. Yes. Okay. Oops. I didn't need to, I want to move that out. Okay. Let's see, discoverability index equals, I think I can just cast this to an int. And for this to work, we get the order of these right. But this is going to be 0, and our indexing for the imagery starts at 0. So it goes upper left, back lower right, front upper left, front bottom right. I was not consistent with the namings of these front, back, lower right, and front bottom right. I'm not going to worry about that too much right now. Or will I? Because it's right here. Okay. So what I'm thinking about to get a one-to-one correspondence between the numbers, I normally don't do my kind of false state or none state at the end, but I'm kind of thinking about doing that. Because then I get a one-to-one correspondence of all of these, or alternatively, actually, let's do this instead. This I like better. Nope. And I suppose I could explicitly just say, here's what the values are. As a possible readability kind of thing. I don't think this is changing at all. I'm pretty sure these are all the numbers that any num elements get just automatically, but it might be useful. And then over here, it's going to be this minus 1 right there. So discoverability index will do that. That's that code there. Then we're going to do a I think we're okay for the rest of that. Then what I need to do is I need to capture the mouse. And this element is the button. Oh, well, you know, in this case, it's the main window form. So let's go get the preview mouse move out of it. Just going to use selection increase to get out of the window resources. And or actually, no, before this, I need it right here. So we'll say we want to preview mouse move. And we want to do the preview mouse down. All right, cool. So now we've got both of these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just move through the different steps through here. The other thing we want to do when we start this is we want to go get those controls that we made invisible in here. We want to make them visible, the instructions, right? The calibration status, those things. We want to change those. So we've got this TB instructions. We have the TB calibration status. Same thing here, I just want to make it visible. And we have the list box calibration status. I want to make that visible. And I think that's it. I want, for the list box calibration status, I want to say items.add. And we're going to add a new item, and the item is going to be started leap calibration. Okay, and we want in the instructions the text to say text is equal to select the back upper left point. I don't know if select is the right word, but it is move the mouse over the back upper left point. Okay? Those are my instructions. There, we're capturing the mouse. Preview mouse move. When there's a mouse move, oops, we had one problem here. We don't want that. We want this here. I just copied some code. All right, so we want to calibrate leap motion, send over the leap calibration data, which is going to consist of only 3 pieces of information, X, Y, and a discoverability index. X and Y I anticipate will change rapidly. Discoverability index will only change when you click. So every time we click, that's the upper back point, and click like that, and click it like that. So those are my instructions there. So preview mouse move. I want something that says, hey, if my step is not equal to not calibrating, or maybe better to say, hey, if it's equal to calibrating, then let's get out of here. If our calibration step is not calibrating, then we're done. We're out. Otherwise, we are going to do 2 things. We're going to take our leap calibration data, and we're going to say set XY to E dot get position relative to this window. I think we're going to do that. Let's pop that in there. Say X is equal to position.x and Y is equal to position.y. And these have got to be, I think, typecast to ints. Okay. I think we're okay. I was just wondering, should I round those? And I think, no, I don't need to. Okay, so in the mouse move, we're going to update that XY position. And send it. And the mouse down, we're going to ignore it unless we're calibrating. If we're calibrating, we are going to now advance the calibration step. Can I do this? I want to also check to see if we're on the last step. If we're on the step that is front lower right, that's our last step. Then we're done. We want to call release capture. Nope. Release capture. Capture release. How do I release the mouse? I thought there was a release capture. Release mouse capture. There it is. Sorry, who's in front of me? I still have to set the point somewhere. Like record the point. Record the 2D and 3D points somewhere. Also, we need to get the new instructions out for each one. So, I don't need that one. So if the step is the back upper left, then for status, we're going to say set the back upper left to, and then we're going to say set the back upper left to that. Set the back lower right. I can mark that, copy that, come down in here and paste it. And now I can change this to set the front upper left to that, and then come down here and paste it again. This is going to be the front lower right. Good. Okay, so there's our status. We also need to change our text. Call this show calibration step complete. Right there. And I want to have a similar method for instructions. Show calibration instructions. This. Do the same thing. Paste it. It's going to be the back, lower right. This is going to be the front, upper left. Good. And then this one becomes the front lower right. Okay. Then at the end, right here, when we release the mouse capture, we want to go back and hide these pieces right here. So I think I want to extract these, and we're going to say set, come on, set leap calibration UI visibility. Then I want to introduce a constant for all of these. I'm going to promote to parameter here. No promote to parameter. Okay. So we'll do that there, and then down here we're going to set it to hidden, and we're going to rename this to visibility. Okay, I think we're done here. Let me, well, we're kind of done. We still have this to do, record the 2D and 3D points somewhere, but I feel like we've kind of built the UI to take us through those steps. We might need to close down the other instance of this thing running for the build to work. Build succeeded. Okay. We can kind of run it right now, actually. Let's just run it and just see if the UI kind of looks and feels like what we just wrote. Is it running? There it is. Just came up. Okay, so now we've got the leap page over here. Calibrate, move the mouse over the point and click it. So as I'm moving the mouse, we're expecting to see that target move here. We're expecting to see that UI. And then when I click it, let's see what happens. Good. So started leap calibration is our first point. Set the back upper left to this. And now this isn't changing though here. Move the mouse over the point and click it. Set the back lower right. So something's wrong here. Did that work for 4? I'm expecting 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're done. Okay, so part of it is good. I want to clean up the, why isn't it? Oh, I'm not calling this from here. Show calibration step complete says here's what we've done, but we haven't called the other piece. So let's do it again. We need this here, and we need here. We need to say this dot items dot clear. All right, and that, let's run it. Those are the changes we need, I think, to make all this work. So now one more time, calibrate. Move the mouse over the, why isn't this showing the right point though? That one works now. Do we just have the wrong in the code? This must be what's going on. Yeah, we sure do. Okay, set a breakpoint here. Calibrate. Front. Lower right. Okay. That should be better. Move the mouse over the back upper left point and click it. Start to leave calibration. Okay, good. So we're moving, we click, set the back. We just set the back upper left to, this seems like an instruction, so I want to change that so it looks very clearly like it's not an instruction. Start it with back upper left, position, set. Okay, and then let's look at start elite calibration. I want to change this to ... like this for the status. Okay, let's try it one more time, run it. I feel like we're done now up here. I need to disable, do I need to disable this button or not? Can we sustain a click and then we try to recapture again once we're already capturing it? I think I'm going to disable it. Does this mean what I thought though was, yeah, everything is taken. Well, I thought everything was taken. Play was not. Calibrate. So some things are, John Calloway says hello. Hey, John Calloway. Sorry, I missed it if you came in earlier. Let's look at these X and Y positions here. What do we get down here? 1306, 972. This is perfect because I was thinking, oh, this might be on a monitor that starts in negative space because I've got a couple monitors here, but it starts at 00 in the upper left. So that's easy. As long as this is up here when I choose calibrate, it'll work. Calibrate. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. Calibration complete. Okay. Next, I want to create a class down below. Do I want to stop the show? Calibrate lead motion. We don't have this one in here yet. Can't navigate. I just declared it. Come on. Did you... It put it here? Is that where calibrate lead motion just was put? In Dragon Game, I want it in front game. My bad. All right, so here's the calibration data coming in. Yeah, I could just do that. And then I want to say my X and Y. I need a way to turn it off, but I've got the if I set the discoverability index to leap calibration step dot not calibrating, that'll set the discoverability index to -1. That could be the signal to turn it off. And if that's the case, I need to send that signal down when we get to that point. In fact, I'm not actually... It doesn't look like I'm sending the data down here at all. Wait. Oh, and the mouse move. Hold on, I am. I need to change, when the mouse down occurs, I need to change the index and send it down. All right, let's do that. Let's make sure we get that index being changed. I think I need to do this. right there is where I think I need that. So we finally end it. We're going to just send the last one over. When it's a -1, we'll know we're done. I think that's correct on the C# side of things. So over here, our DTO is going to have 3 properties. It's going to have X, Y, and it's going to have discoverability index. And if discoverability index is equal to -1, then we're going to, we are done and need to hide everything. Okay, let's load up some, let's build some sprites and load up the data, and that'll be the last thing we do to basically watch this thing move around as we interact with it. And then Tuesday, we'll pick this up and get to the actual work that we were describing over here to calculate those positions. And then probably by Wednesday, we'll have actually effects running and following the fingertips. That's what I'm kind of expecting. Okay, we need some sprites in here. Let's just see what we're doing here with fireworks. Fine, we'll use fireworks as our model. So we're going to say we want to have the calibration cursor. And we need to have our calibration discoverability. Like that. Those are the 2 pieces we need. So calibration cursor. Excuse me. All right. Okay. So leap motion, calibration UI, and then is this the cursor? The cursor. It's just called cursor. And there's one of those. Doesn't really need a name. It does need the origin set. Which I think I have right here. Origin is 2122. We need to draw it, make sure it's rendered. I can add it to the front effects. Like that. That'll be drawn with our front effects, that's fine. All right, that's it for the cursor. Okay, and what's this one called? Oh, do I really have this spelled wrong? Oh no, that's just here. Okay, I see. So calibration UI. That's what this one's called. And I've got 4 of these. Four of those. And I'm not going to set the origin X or Y on that because it's just going to be 0 for that. Use the upper left on it. And then I want to add it to the front effects as well. Okay. So now, if we come down in here and we want to say, hey, look, if calibration data dot discoverability index, whoops, is equal to -1, we got to kind of clean this all up. Sorry, DTO. Okay, so if that's equal to -1, then we got to clean up and probably get out of here. So we're going to say, we want to say this dot, I still have it on the clipboard, this dot calibration cursor dot sprite proxies, set that equal to an empty array. That'll clear all those out. And do the same thing there. And then we're out. Otherwise, then we're going to say, hey, look, if calibration cursor dot sprite proxies dot count dot length is equal to 0, we need to create a new calibration cursor. So we're going to say calibration cursor dot add, and I'll put it at 0, 0. Well, no, I won't. I'll say wherever this is coming in at, DTO.x, DTO.y, like that. And I want to say, I want to add a new discoverability, call add as well. And the X and Y there, I'm going to put it at about 500 and at about 350. So kind of right up there is where I'm anticipating that to be. All right, so if we add to both of these, otherwise we need to find the existing ones and move them is what we need to do. I could do this. I could say this is going to be our calibration cursor sprite. And I will set it there. And I want to do something similar here. So I'll set these variables here. Calibration discoverability. Like that as well. Beautiful. What are you doing here? Const. So down here, we want to move these to the right positions. So we're going to say this dot x, or is it a move? This dot x is equal to DTOX and y. And then here, this one dot frame index is equal to DTO dot discoverability index. Okay, is that it? I feel like we might have to add the, I think we might have to do this. This dot calibration cursor dot origin x added here. And I think we have to do the same thing here, y. Like that. Maybe a minus on it, sorry. minus for both of these. I think we have to do that. I feel like that might be it. That's Dragon Front overlay. Let's go refresh that on the main screen here. Refresh that. Whew. That's some intense coding here. Come back over here, refresh here. It looks like we're not connected. I'm hitting the refresh button. Change my breakpoint there, make sure we're not actually. Yeah, it looks like we are not connected. Okay, so let's restart this one. And then I'll get some lunch after this. I'm breaking a sweat just watching, really. Yeah, it's like, it's some intense concentration and focus making this work. I hope it works. I hope we get something moving with the mouse. That would be so cool. Right? And then we could end the show like we're pros. We're like, yeah, we did it. So just running it, waiting it for it to, this is loading the symbols. Let's go ahead and refresh the other pieces as well, even though we're not really going to need those. Oh, and I got to do this one other thing I got to remember to do. Hit the refresh button on OBS. I used to be able to just turn it off and turn visibility on and off, and it would refresh and reload my TypeScript changes, but not anymore. Where are you? Main window's here? That's not a good sign. What's happening? Getting the data? Are we locked up or not? Doesn't look good. Okay. If I had this problem before, I'm trying to remember. It's connected, but yeah, I've got like no data in here loaded in. What's causing that? I feel like I've seen this before where I've gone out to try to get the Google data and load it up and it wouldn't give it to me. It just started up now. I think I know what was happening. I think I accidentally started two at once. Is that possible? How did I do that though? It says it's up. It looks like we are connected. Interesting. I have seen it where it says if we try twice in a row to get all that data, Google's like, no, I'm not going to give it to you and I'm going to throw an exception. Let's go over to Leap and see what works here. Calibrate. Well, that's not good. I'm not seeing anything up there. Totally expecting to see that. Why wouldn't that be working? You know what? Let's go load it up here. Let's go in localhost, Dragon Front overlay. Let's come back over here. Let's get out of this calibration. Hit refresh. That's refreshed. Inspect. Console. Okay, and now let's calibrate. I'm moving the mouse. No errors here. Well, I was expecting to see some errors. So let's get some console log messages out here. What's wrong? See if I see that one at least. Let's do a refresh. Refresh the data. Hit calibrate. No messages coming across. Okay. I need to rebuild. I haven't, even though I've rebuilt the, I haven't rebuilt, I I haven't rebuilt this yet. This app that's running, the overlay manager. So we need to shut this down, and also similarly shut down the other viewer tracking piece as well. Come on, where are you? There we go. Just got to make sure that we're not about to save the data. How many seconds after? 5. It's about to save it. Right about there. Okay. All right. So close that. Close the other one down. Now we need to rebuild. Yeah, I don't think SignalR is coming down because we didn't rebuild the overlay manager. So I'm going to do that now. Looks like that was build canceled. I didn't cancel it. Come on. Try again. Does that really happen because of the zoom in? What's going on here? We've got an error. Identifier expected. Where are you? Retry the build. All right, building. There we go. Crunching the numbers. There we go. And what do we got? Build succeeded. Okay, good. Step 1. Step 2, reload. Mr. Announcer Bot, reload the overlay manager. Refresh the drone game. And refresh the other pieces as well. And then I think we're going to have to restart this so it can reconnect with SignalR. Here we go. Here's the restart. Loading up. Loading up, but the data didn't get refreshed. Why is that? I expect it to work. Just refreshing each of the pages one more time. Okay, now. No? I don't get that at all. Do I have an error in one of my other apps? Okay, I do have an error here. Let's try this. I've seen this before, and I think what I have to do is shut down Chrome. Okay, I just killed Chrome. Let's try starting up the overlay manager again. All right. Back over here. Did I do enough? we starting up? There it is. All right, cool. That worked. All right, next. Leap. Calibrate. Ooh, I got one, but I don't have the other. Okay, that's not bad. If I click, there we go. Wait, it looked like it did way too little. Hold on. Calibrate. Oh, there we go. Now I got something, but not moving as I move the mouse. I'll take a look at that in a second. Click once. Back lower right, click again. Front. And then the last. Wait, I didn't get the last one. Let's figure out why the mouse moves aren't going through. Why no mouse moves here? Right there. We should totally be getting them. Okay. That looks good. That looks good too. Okay. Cursor, sorry. Calibrate leap motion. So I think we should be seeing a lot of the messages coming in. That's what I'm expecting to see here. Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of these. All right, calibrate leap motions coming in, bunch of those. So what is wrong? Why aren't we seeing it move? I just noticed some cleanup I want to do here too. I don't get it. Why it's not moving? Why it's not? We're not sending this anything out. Let's say just look at the X position only. Come over here. Refresh that. Oh, what do we got? Provided is in the broken state. Calibration UI 3, PNG is not found. I don't think that's my problem, but maybe. Let's go take a look at that. Why don't we see a 3 in there? What did I do wrong in the naming? Yep. Okay, that can maybe impact it. That could totally impact it. Let's refresh. Okay, there we go. Now we got an X. So do we see something moving? Calibrate. Okay, hold on. Let's refresh the Dragon front overlay on this live stream. All right. Come on, why aren't you moving? It's a little crazy. Wait. Is there a move to call I need to make instead? I'm trying to, I just want to see. Just moved. That should all work. I notice it's not saved, but I'm not sure if I'd made any changes there. Seeing those X's out there should definitely work. Okay, where is it? Why don't we see it? This is crazy. The coordinates are looking good in terms of what we're putting out here. What am I missing? Calibration cursor sprite X and Y. Could this be not a number, maybe? I don't think so. The fact that this is advancing indicates that this math is working. And we added these sprites to the front effects. So we should see them. Just like we're seeing this other one. Let's do a refresh over here. Definitely giving different values. It's funny, like all this hard work to get here, and now I'm here and I'm like, this is Should be like so, I should be so close to having this work. Yep, it's changing the X and Y, but it's not drawing it in a different place. Oh, what's going on? I don't get this at all. So the data is being changed. The calibration cursor sprite is inside of the calibration cursors. That's added to the front effects, which means it should totally be drawn. We're actually seeing it drawn at one point in time. Front effects are being drawn, I take it. Why should I even have to check this? They're being drawn all the time, aren't they? Here we go. In update screen. Yeah, that's got to be being called. I can't stop working. Yeah, I guess the problem is my eyes are here, but the code is good. I believe the problem must be here. Yeah, it's stunning to me that's not drawing. I feel like I have to take a just step away and figure out the drawing next time. I was really hoping to get that actually working, to show that mouse move and get that piece moving. We are showing the data here. We're not showing any errors, right? Yeah, I've got no errors. I could hand draw this to force it to be drawn, I suppose. I don't know. It's the last thing I suppose I could try before we end the show. So what that means is, instead of adding it to the front effects, just mind-blowing that this doesn't work. Stop that there. And then later, when I draw the front effects around that same spot, Here we go. And we're going to come in here and do the same thing. .draw. Context. Now MS. And I don't think I need to call update positions on this at all. And let's try refreshing that. Calibrate. Really? Really? Now it works? Why is that? Okay, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. Is it simply because I didn't have a call to update positions on it? Is that what was killing it? I don't imagine this being the problem. Calibrate. Nope, still works. Something about being inside of there. I didn't want to update it. That's so weird. All right, let's clear the console log messages. Clear that there. Let's refresh the main stream, and we'll just watch that as we set up our RAID for the next channel. So the process looks like this. What? Calibrate. And now I'm selecting where to put it. This is actually kind of cool. I've often thought, oh, it'd be nice to have something on top of the stream that I can say, here, look at this, right? So on the very top layer, have a kind of pointing device. Because if you notice my mouse, when it moves behind this graphic, it disappears and I can't point with my mouse anymore. So same thing happens over here with the scroll. I'd often have to say something like, look to the left of my cursor, because I couldn't come right over and say, hey, that's the thing I want you to look at. Anyway, so now I can move this around. So now I can do back, upper, left. So I can come out here. Where is it? Right about there. And so, presuming that could still be seen by the leap, right? Then I'm going to click it right there. Then it says back, lower, right. So I'm going to come back over here, find out where that lower right position is. Click it. Front, upper, left. So now I'm coming up front, close. I'm going to go boom, and then front, lower, right. And I'm going to go there. Where is it? Probably right about there. Boom. And with that, that's going to collect our data. So we're not collecting it yet, but that's the next step. That's also that's also the hard part. We kind of did more of the easy part today, kind of just specking it out, putting all the pieces together. But if it goes wrong, if our logic goes wrong, then that's the hard part. All right. If our logic is great, then it'll look like we're geniuses. Let's set up a RAID here. And thanks so much for joining us as we get through this and make all this work. Let's get our RAID. I'm going to send you over to Brian Clark. See how he's doing.
No, why would you go that way? No. Why would you go this way? No, why are you...
All right, looks like he's having fun. We'll send you over there. I'm still very confused on what you're trying to do, says Pudding, and how it works with one camera. On Tuesday, I'll bring you up to speed. Pudding. I'll do it. I'll spend some time to bring you up to speed in terms of what we're trying to do. All right. Brian, say hi to Brian for me. I'm going to go get some food. We'll talk to you later. Thanks so much, guys.